I'm retired Chicago homicide detective Dan Stover, joined by my partners Tim Murphy, Will Svilar, and retired FBI agent Maureen O'Connell. Together we bring you over 60 years of homicide investigation experience, along with 25 years of FBI experience. Real investigators, real cases. This isn't Hollywood. Welcome to Big City Crime Inside the Red Tape. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Big City Crime Inside the Red Tape. Thank you so much for hanging in there with us. We've got bad storms in Chicago, bad storms in Florida, and it's been a real tech issue. Imagine that.
Yeah, everyone's got power down. Tim can't leave his family alone without power, so he's not gonna be with us tonight, unfortunately, unless he can
Right.
break free and join us. But thank you so much for joining us and sticking with us tonight. We appreciate it. These storms are no joke in the Midwest. But here,
No.
I'm in California and it's beautiful.
Oh, rub it in, rub it in.
Mhm.
Um, so good evening, and tonight I'm going to, I along with my partners, unfortunately Tim can't be here, but Will and Maureen, we are so excited to share with you the actual criminal complaint relative to Derek Colella. Everybody has been waiting to see what's in that complaint, and tonight we're going to show it to you, and we're going to break it down. We'll also be walking you through the entire Nancy Guthrie timeline step by step. We'll take a fresh look at the key events, discuss what stands out from our perspective as experienced investigators, and examine where this investigation may be headed. Drawing from our over a century of combined investigative experience, we'll break down the decisions, the unanswered questions, and the details that continue to draw attention to this case. Most importantly, we will be taking your questions and answering them at the end of the show. We'll do our best to provide insight based on our experience and how we would approach this investigation if we were working it ourselves. Thank you for spending part of your evening with us. Let's get started and take a closer look at the Nancy Guthrie investigation. And if I can remind people, if you have a question, please start your question with a question mark or the actual word question so we know it's a question. Okay. Let's start with, since we're still relatively new, start with our backgrounds. Maureen, you want to start us off?
Sure. My name's Maureen O'Connell. Even though I'm from the same neighborhood as these guys, I spent 25 years in the FBI in the Los Angeles division, and I worked about 20 of those years on the FBI's evidence response team.
Thank you. Will?
Will Svilar, 32 years, Chicago Police Department, mostly in the detective division, 26 of the 32 in the detective division, and worked homicides in my last several years with Danny and Timmy. We worked officer-involved shootings.
Yes, and as you know, I'm Dan Stover. I'm so happy to be part of this team. And I did 33 years, and the last 22 with Chicago Police Department, working homicides. In the last 4 of those, working police-involved shootings citywide. So, so let's get started here with the we put together a timeline, a PowerPoint situation for the viewers. So let's start out with
The disappearance of Nancy Guthrie.
yeah, there we go.
It was a full moon that night, a super full moon, and in an area where it was normally very, very dark, there was light that evening.
So to start this all off, we know that she went to dinner at her daughter's house and son-in-law's house. We know she was brought home. We suspect she was brought home. We know the garage door closed and I think it's on a previous slide. I think we started with slide 2 there.
Oh yes, here we go. Slide. Here we go. Sorry about that, guys.
That's okay. There we go. 5:32. Nancy goes to her daughter's house by Uber. 9:48. She's driven home by her son-in-law, and this is the last time anybody who knows Nancy reports that they've seen her. We know that her garage door closed at 9:50. And again, we don't know. Maureen, help me out with this next one. At 10, it's reported that her 10 o'clock p.m. Meds were not taken, but has that been verified?
That has not been verified to the best of my knowledge. We know that she was due to take them that night, and there was we have heard people say that she did not take her meds that night, but we don't know what that exactly means. I mean, what were the meds laid out on the counter and with a glass of water and not taken? Is that why she rushed home to make sure she was there at 9:48 so that she could be in the house and ready to take her meds at 10? That's what we're kind of thinking, but that has not been solidified yet for us. From a law enforcement statement or a data point that we can really trust.
So, by all accounts, this is a regular night, a regular night of dinner. Dinner's over. She's going to go home and she's going to get on with her nighttime routine,
Yeah.
and it goes terribly sideways from there.
Yep.
And as I've made a point before, to me, I think it's very strange that she did not take her 10 p.m. meds. I just all the old people that I know, well, I'm old too, but older than me, they're very strict on when they take their medication. So, I'm not saying that that's the case. Maybe Nancy wasn't like that, but chances are, I would imagine she was, and she would have taken her meds. And to not do it was really kind of bizarre to me. So, moving on here.
So now the next activity we have at all is at 1:47, 1:47 a.m. on the 1st of February, where her home doorbell camera disconnects. At 2:12, there's movement in the house, but no videos initially available. 2:28, Nancy's pacemaker app disconnects from her phone.
Which would
Uh,
indicate movement, which would indicate movement on the part of Nancy.
Outside of the signal between her phone and the app on her pacemaker.
Correct.
So something's happening in that area of time. And then nothing until the next morning, just before noon, when family members are alerted by her church members that she did not attend the church service.
Which was at
12:03.
her friend's house, a group of friends where they got together every Sunday, and they would watch the mass service that Savannah attends in New York. And then after that, they had a small get together, whatever. She wasn't there. They were nervous. They called family members, which were Nancy or Annie and Tommaso.
And at 12:03, they get to the house and then they make the 911 call, and that is the beginning of the investigation into the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie.
Correct.
So, what is the state of the investigation at this point?
At this
At this
point, it's a walk away. Yeah.
At this point, you're going to get the beat cars are going to show up. When I say beat cars, I mean the uniform patrol who's going to take the missing persons report. And what you're typically going to see in a missing persons is you're going to interview. First of all, you're going to search the premises. You're going to search the area immediately around the premises. You are going to talk to the family to see what her habits are. So it's basically just an interview by the uniform patrol, and they're going to try to get some facts. They're going to try to find out, is this something that Nancy does? Does Nancy walk away? Does Nancy have anywhere to go? Her car's in the garage. They do an immediate search of the premises, and they interview Annie and Tommaso.
Because if we listen to the dispatch calls online, you'll hear the officer say that the family members, and referring to them as family members, the only two family members that we know of right now that live anywhere in that region are Annie and Tommaso, so that's why we're making that assumption. And so when the officers get there, the deputies get there, even if the family says, "We searched the house, she's not here," they're gonna search the house also because, everyone, we've learned lessons from big cases in the past where lots of really important evidence can be within the purview of that home. And also, people get incapacitated in very strange places in their house. She could have, at a different time of year, been bringing Christmas decorations up or down and gotten caught up in the attic or something like that. So the search is going to be a little more comprehensive than we might suspect initially.
Yeah, that's a great point, Maureen.
So you see on the timeline, we had the 12:15 that the deputies, that's when they show up, and then we talk about that they start to do a search using drones and dogs. Now that didn't happen at 12:15. Believe me, they had to get everybody mobilized, and that was probably not till like, let's say probably an hour and a half after the fact before they got everybody mobilized.
Yeah, at
Um,
least,
and
at
then
least.
just before 7 p.m., Pima County Sheriff goes onto social media to announce her disappearance.
Yeah.
So between what let's speculate on this, guys. What's happening between? I believe it's probably the search, the dogs, the drones, and everything during the hours of light. They're searching for Nancy, and then when they see that it's apparently it's not just a walk away, that's when they go to their social media just before 7 p.m.
Well, at some point, one of the deputies, relatively early on, noticed the blood on the front step. And that was interesting. The pattern of blood is interesting, the placement of it. And to a certain extent, it can be explained away by the fact that, she was on heart meds, she was on blood thinners, and there's photos of her, lots of photos of her on her daughter's show where she's got marks on her arms that indicate that her skin is very thin, paper thin, and you could see that she's got uh, almost like scabs on her arms from getting cut very easily. So could it have been that? Maybe, but there's that one area that makes it look like that is not what happened. So also at this time, they're going to be going to the neighbor's house, like, "Hey, have you seen Nancy? Did you see her on the street? When was the last time you saw her?" And then, as you said, Will, then they were able to get the drones and everything up, and then once night fell, they were able to use the FLIR um, to look for heat signatures.
Yeah.
Right. So what happens next? On the 2nd of February, Chris Nanos holds a press conference and he announced that they believe Nancy was kidnapped. Uh, so, like Maureen said, that had to come from what they saw inside the house and the results of their interviews. The
In
blood.
large part, the back doors propped open would for all. Dan, what would that mean to you if you came upon a house, the woman was missing, and the back doors are propped open?
Yeah, I mean, I would look at that as is it possible that she walked out through the back door and was out in the backyard somewhere? I'd be looking in the pool, I'd be looking in the brush area. I mean, immediately, I don't think that that would jump out to me immediately as there's something nefarious going on here.
The
Interesting.
prop the propped open doors. Um, that would make it. It's a little weird that the doors be propped open, almost like you're trying to move something big in or out of the house.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, initially, I think just by looking at the prop doors, I don't know that that's a huge alarm for me right off the bat. That's just
Okay.
me personally.
Like, if you looked in the back, because I'm trying to follow along with you. So looking in her backyard, she had such a beautiful garden. So maybe she
Mhm.
was bringing potted plants that she bought at the store out
Yeah.
that back door to plant or set them there for the gardener on Monday morning or something. Okay.
Yes.
I
Yeah,
actually never
that's
thought of that before.
just playing like a devil's advocate type thing of what are the possibilities, as we all often like to say. You know, you have to consider everything's possible, and I can just imagine being there first on the scene and kind of looking at that. The blood tells a different story, but if I go right to the back door and see they're propped open, especially like that propped open, that's kind of bizarre in itself to me
Mhm.
because usually when you have an offender that's going to go through doors, if they're going to go through, they're not going to worry about propping it with something. They're just going to go through them and the door is going to be ajar. That's my experience.
Okay.
Yep. Unless you got something rolled up in a carpet and there's only two of you, and one of you, and you can't move it with just one person. You need someone to prop the door open.
Yeah, yeah, you can look at it like that for sure.
But we may not be there yet. Okay.
Right. So moving on. Okay, this is the
So
next slide.
so now we have the interviews are done with the family. The family gives the information to the police that they believe to be relevant. The searches are done. It's negative. We see the blood. There's an indication that there's been some foul play here, and this is probably or possibly an abduction and a kidnapping for ransom. Now, what Annie did was she gave a map to people in the homeowners association. Maureen, help me out with this if I'm missing something here. Somebody in the homeowners association and the police, which would highlight certain routes away from her house to like probably to say, well, but if Nancy, these are the routes Nancy usually took. She went to the nail salon, she went to wherever she went. But she made that available pretty early on in the investigation to both the homeowners association and the police. Uh, you know, in an attempt to get them to start looking at some of their cameras to see if she's coming or going in any of those directions. What do you guys think of that?
Well, I thought it was interesting when she first put it out, but I thought, did she really think that instead of going to her friend's house like she did every Sunday, and she's totally with it, she has no, a mental impairment. Did they really think she was going to get her nails done instead? Or I guess it's just places she frequents. Um, it just almost seemed like she was trying to pull attention away. Um, I don't know, but I just, I mean, would she have left the house with the doors propped open like that? No, I don't think so. I don't
And
know. I
and
didn't. It was interesting to me.
and not between the hours of 10 p.m. and 2 o'clock in the afternoon or noon the next day,
Right.
unless of course she was going to her church thing that she was supposed to go to and never went to. So now the next couple days, February 3rd through the 5th, we know the blood's been recovered. The blood's been recovered. It's been swabbed. It's been sent to the lab for DNA testing. Now, when we talk about DNA testing, we talk about yes, we've taken a swab of blood. We're going to establish a profile from that swab of blood, but you also have to have something to compare it to. So they took something from the house, be it a bandage that was in the garbage, a rooted hair from a brush, or something along those lines, where they had to get another profile so they could make a direct comparison between the two profiles.
Yep. A
So
one-to-one comparison. Yep.
one to one. So this is not something that's going to take 25 minutes. It's going to take a minute to do it. Um, Now it starts to get a little weird. Now the family's let back into the house too soon, in my opinion, way too soon. And then the authorities come back. They come back another time to check again. Um,
Well, let
it's
me ask
this
you
is what we talk
something.
about.
Let me ask you something, Will. You're saying the family came back in too soon. Uh, couldn't it have been a case where they just wanted to make sure nothing was missing because the first time they were in there, they were, have you or Dan ever done that where you just want to make sure something's missing? Because if they were thinking it was tied to Savannah, my thought from the beginning was I would be checking Savannah's childhood room because if this person did this because they were, a Savannah stalker or something along those lines, maybe they just wanted to take some memorabilia from Savannah's room. But they probably didn't look in Savannah's room for stuff like that being missing when they were first looking for Nancy. Would that be true or?
Well, I think that should have been done on the initial interview with the family. Hey, take a look around
Yes.
here. Does anything look out of place? That should have been.
Yeah.
If it wasn't done, it should have been done on the first interview.
I agree
That's
with
that
that. Go ahead,
yeah,
Dan.
that's typically done with the first responders on the scene. In a possible burglary investigation, you're going to want the family to go inside and take a good look around. Don't touch anything or anything like that, but you want to look around, see if there's anything obviously missing.
I
you
agree with
know,
that. What I'm saying is a little bit different. I know that they did that. I know that they walked around and said that. I know that they were walking with family members. This is where mom
mm,
keeps her iPad. Her medicine is usually here. Her slippers are over here and they're still there, which
yeah,
is weird because that kind of thing. What I'm saying is I don't know if right off the bat they searched Savannah's room to see if any like of her childhood trophies or things that
yeah,
serial offenders might want as a trophy, let's say, as opposed
yeah,
to something valuable.
yeah,
Yeah,
great
because
point.
that's their childhood home. That's the home that they grew up in.
Yeah.
It's my understanding. They bought that like in the 70s.
Yes.
So now Savannah gets on the air and she starts talking about she wants proof of life. She pleads to uh, the public to and the captors to give her proof of life, and she uses her celebrity, if you want to say, to get the message out there, which is I have no problem with that. If you the better you can get the message out, or the more people that hear it, I got no issue with that at all. I think that was a great move on her part.
Mhm. Any of us
FBI
would do that, yeah.
now we're here getting it like we're getting into 4 days later. Now the FBI is allowed full access. They put out a $50,000 reward right away. We get the DNA testing back saying, yep, that is in fact from the 1-to-1 comparison. Um, that's Nancy's blood on the front porch. And now we get this guy from California, this Derek Colella, who gets
Hawthorne.
pinched on the fifth.
Yeah. And here's the moment we've all been waiting for. Because everybody's been waiting. It's been, sealed. Nobody can get their hands on it, but we've got it for you now. And here we're going to start right here with here it
But before
comes.
we before we start going through it minute by minute, the whole
Yeah.
deal with this Derek Colella guy is it was so strange because he he put up the he put up the ransom request for money, and then he sent a text to both Annie and Tommaso, and then there was a 9-second phone call that we don't know who it was to or what that phone call was about, and they were able to apprehend this guy. We could see that the guy had a hearing. We could see that he had an ankle monitor. We know that, all that kind of stuff. But we were wondering, and then he just dropped off the face of the earth. So everyone in law enforcement who's done these affidavits before, who's worked with people that are cooperating, we're all saying this guy's got to be cooperating now. And I can't wait to get my hands on this to see what the probable cause is in this. What did the judge sign off on? And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And we're also going to talk about what it takes to get that probable cause affidavit signed off by your judge and whether or not we think this looks like he's cooperating or maybe not cooperating. So go ahead.
Right.
So for those of you that don't know, when you do an affidavit, when you're making this complaint for an arrest, you are laying out a couple of things. One, you're laying out what the charges that you're trying to get approved, and you have to put some facts behind that that support your charges. This is a federal indictment, but I mean it's a federal complaint, but they're pretty much the same. You have to establish probable cause for the charges that you are seeking, and this is written for a judge who has no knowledge of the case, who looks at it and on face value can say, okay, the facts presented represent enough evidence for probable cause. I will sign your arrest warrant. And that's what this is. So basically, page one, it lays out what you're trying to get charged.
And then moving on to page 2, you kind of get into a little bit more of the nitty gritty on it.
This is where you have to establish your probable cause. Like I said, you're gonna go to a judge who may or may not have knowledge of the case. He's gonna have to know a little background. Nancy's missing, 84 years old, and it's all in the complaint. And then you have to start talking about specific charges, these specific counts that you're looking for. And it lays out, and I don't know if you guys can see that. It lays out the PC as to why that they are seeking these charges, and this is the probable cause right here in this document, this page 2 of this document, and it talks about that the AC and TC get separate phone calls from a phone number that that ended in 552. And you guys could probably read along when we're talking about this. Did you get the Bitcoin? We're waiting on our end for a transaction. Now, Maureen, maybe you know more about this than I do, but when you talk about open source and this voice over internet protocol, I don't know what that is, but they were able to get into it. The investigators, the FBI was able to get into it and trace it to this Kalella.
Yeah, to show his IP address where so he was using voice over internet, which means it's attached to his Wi-Fi, and they were able to pinpoint the IP address, and that's how they got that Derek Kalella guy.
So far, to me, this is straightforward. This is a straightforward complaint. It's basically read like any one of the hundreds that the three of us have written. It's a straightforward complaint. There's no really big surprises in this.
And it also, hey, Danny, can you let Tim in? The storm has subsided a little bit, and he thinks he can get in. He's in the waiting room.
Oh, he's trying to get in? Okay. Weird.
So in looking at this, Will, what's your take on whether or not you think oh yeah, maybe we should talk to Tim here for a second. Hey Tim, how you doing, pal? How's the family?
Good. How are you guys?
Good.
Got your power back?
Nope.
Okay.
I improvise.
Wow.
It's Tim by candlelight and hotspot.
Yeah,
The hotspot.
that's right.
Yes, hotspot.
So Tim, maybe you can chime in on this. We're talking about the probable cause, and we're just looking at it right now. You're the one that found this for us. Tell us what your thoughts are on this.
Well, I thought the affidavit was a vague affidavit, but I thought something was very interesting, and it was the stuff that they had mentioned about her leaving her wallet, her car, cell phone, hearing aid, and medications at home. So more than likely, she didn't have shoes either, probably.
Right.
I just thought that was it. And I believe it says the hearing aids were also left at home. Yeah, her hearing aids were left at home. So
right.
So she can't hear her captive, so to speak. So I'm curious as to how much verbal direction she could follow from them, even
Exactly.
if she would.
So are you of the opinion that does it seem to you, because I was originally of the opinion that Derek Kalella was cooperating, and there may be something more going on here, but right now, after reading this, I'm not sure. After reading the complaint, what do you guys think?
Yeah.
I think based on what we see here, if there was more going on, it wouldn't be that vague. Based on what we see here, I think this was a crime of opportunity for this guy. I don't know. What do you guys think? That's what I'm
leaning toward now.
Well, the other thing I thought was odd in the affidavit was the 3 minutes after the text messages, he called a family member of Nancy's, which lasted 9 seconds. I get it. He probably got the phone numbers from the internet, but it's kind of interesting. Usually the first one grabbed is the one that's going to talk. So does this guy have any more information that's that he's cooperating? Because I know they extradited him from California back to Arizona, so he's been sitting in Arizona for a couple of weeks. A little bit longer than that. Probably a couple months.
Well, he's got an ankle monitoring on now. He had the ankle monitor on last time I saw him leaving court.
But this pinch happened so quickly.
I'm kind of thinking it did. Either he's a moron, or they have him and they're caught in a deal with him there. That's my opinion on it. That it's possible. We've seen it over and over where they make deals with people to get to the bigger fish, so to speak. If he's a smaller fish.
Here, you guys, go ahead, Tim. You guys, let's think about this for a second. So Nancy gets grabbed out of the house. this thing is done. What, 4 days later he does that text message.
Mhm.
So this is after more than likely. Let's face it. I mean, let's be honest. Is more than likely she probably died pretty quickly after she got taken. If she didn't, she was pretty well incapacitated.
Yes.
It's not like they can take her to a hospital and drop her off for treatment.
Mhm.
So, do they
right.
realize now that they lost their advantage with the fact is that she's either incapacitated or dead, and now realize one of them gets pissed off and says, "Fuck it, I'm gonna make the call. I want my share. That's the greed coming out." So
Now,
does he make the call, or does he just decide, "Hey, I'm gonna go out on my own. I want to get my Bitcoin"?
hey, listen.
I mean,
So here's another end of this. Maybe he's not just a crime of opportunity guy. Think about it like this, guys, and we all know this. First person to the table gets the deal.
Mhm.
Now,
right.
you cannot use the testimony of a co-defendant until the charges against that co-defendant are adjudicated, which could mean this is why they got this out there quick. They gave us charges. They're going to make a deal because you can't, if you're a co-defendant, you can't testify against the other one until your charges are adjudicated. So that could be
That-
why this happened so quick.
That's a great point, Will. I'm glad you
Yep.
brought that up because
Yep.
I guarantee most of our viewers, they don't know that that's a little detail that only prosecutor's office or like us, what we did for a living, would know. So good point.
So yeah, so that could be in there. And again, when we read this, we all read this. This is a boilerplate. It's a boilerplate complaint. This is how, like I explained earlier when we started this. I want these charges. This is why I want these charges. Here's my affidavit to support these charges. So it's
And
it's
and to a pretty good extent, you don't want to lay everything out in a complaint.
No.
You
Yeah,
just you want to
absolutely.
be able to
No,
get the ball over the finish line. That's your goal, and
just
without giving away the farm.
basic probable cause. That's
Yep.
all you're talking about.
that's it.
And what about the redactions, guys? What are your thoughts on the redactions?
That is usually that's usually a name or a phone number of somebody who's not directly involved, or they don't want to release the whole phone number.
But it came that way, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that was the way this was released. It's redacted. The judge saw the actual information, and if this was sworn before a grand jury, they have that information as well.
And if someone can read part of the probable cause, that would be great. Because I can't read it from here; it's way too small on my screen. But if somebody
think
wants to, or
I can blow it up here. Yeah, none of us are doing too well on the old tech thing here. Okay, so if you so I know we're getting some comments that people can't see it either, so I'm just going to read it.
yeah, let's just read it because some people are also driving and listening.
Yeah, Jackie, go back to page 1, and I'll just read it.
Yeah,
Yes.
it's me. I'm handling it. But yeah, go ahead. Can you see? So you want me to go to the very beginning?
Yes, and I'll that way it'll make more sense to the viewers of how this all works.
Coming your way. Coming your way.
Okay, so when you look at this complaint, you see that it's a federal complaint. It's the United States District Court, District of Arizona. Okay, the magistrate case number. That's the docket number for the complaint.
Mm-hmm.
Big line. Complaint statement of facts. Complainants. That's the officer who swore the complaint or the agent who swore the complaint. Facts constituting the offense or violation. This is what we talked about. It gives the date. Derek Colella, and it says what he wants to do. With the intent to transmit a demand for ransom, did transmit in interstate or foreign commerce any communications containing demand or request for a ransom or reward for the release of kidnapped persons. And then it gives the violation, Title 18 USC 875A. That's United States Code for everybody that doesn't. Title 18 USC, that's United States Code. It's kind of like our 720 ILCS in Illinois, where it's just our complied statutes. So it basically says this is the violation of that law. Now, count 2. It says, on the same date, in interstate or foreign communication, made a telephone call and utilized a telecommunications device, whether or not conversation or communication ensues without disclosing his identity with the intent to abuse, threaten, or harass any specific person. And then it gives the title code of that. So that's the basic page 1, where it says this is what we're talking about. This is what we're charging them with. And the next page is going to be where you get your complaint.
Coming your way.
Gotcha.
I can read the first paragraph now while we're waiting.
Yeah, go
Go
ahead.
ahead.
I actually should
Go
have had it
ahead.
in front of me, but I don't.
You can go ahead.
No, I
There it
actually I don't
is.
see it yet.
Do you have it?
All right, here we
Maureen?
go. Now I got it.
Yeah. Go ahead, Will.
So we talked about what now here's what happened. Okay. The disappearance of NG. NG was last seen inside a residence in the Catalina Foothill community outside of Tucson, Arizona on January 31st, 2026. Now you're going to describe the victim. NG is an 84-year-old woman with mobility issues that likely preclude her from walking long distances unassisted. This is going to support the fact that you say she's abducted and she didn't just walk away.
Mhm.
On the morning of February 1st, 2026, a friend of NG's contacted the victim's family and notified them that NG had not attended church that morning. At approximately noon on February 1st, NG's family entered her residence and determined she was missing and reported her disappearance to law enforcement. Law enforcement arrived shortly thereafter, determined that NG had left basic essentials inside her home, like Timmy was talking about: wallet, car, cell phone, hearing aid, and medications. And then they found her blood outside of her residence. All you're doing there is you're shoring up. You are shoring up the fact that this is a crime has been committed and it's not just a typical.
And this is
or a
why we
walkaway.
believe that. Yep. And it's and a reasonable person would believe this. Before we move on to the next paragraph, it said the thing of interest in this paragraph that I'm looking at is it said the last time she was seen was inside her house. So that tells me that, before we were wondering, did the garage door go up? Because the garage door went up and then went down in 2 minutes, and it takes 11 to 17 seconds for the door to go up and again to come down. So that breaks it down to, less than 2 minutes. Nancy could not have done that. We all know that. We all have elderly people that we've cared for or people that are infirmed. So we wondered whether or not the family members actually went in the home with her, and the affidavit is saying that yes. So that means family members told law enforcement that they absolutely went in the house, which means they must have left either through the front door or through the back door to get back into their vehicle to leave, because we don't have that other data point of the garage door up and down later after she's in there and settled. Okay,
We also don't have them leaving out the front door on the camera.
correct.
So
That we know
that's
of.
that's a very you're right, that we know of. That's a very interesting point, Maureen, and that's a great point. Is it says seen inside her house.
Yes.
Now, are they making an inference that Tomaso, who dropped her off, sees her walk inside the garage, and that's enough for them to say she's in the house?
Couldn't
Or
have
did
done
they
it in
actually
2
go
minutes.
in?
You couldn't have done it in that amount of time. It tells me that the reporting party said they went in the house with her. In
Okay.
my
Mhm.
opinion.
Okay, so now moving on to the next one. On February 2nd, 2026, KOLD, a CBS affiliate in Tucson, Arizona, received a ransom demand via their online tip portal. The demand listed a Bitcoin wallet address to receive ransom payment. And then we talked about this earlier, and then it talks about NG's family published a video asking NG kidnappers to contact them about their mother. So now we're going to talk about the counts. On or about February 4th, 2026, it tells the daughter and the son-in-law both separately received these messages that Timmy was talking about from the cell phone number that ending in 0552. And it's, did you get the Bitcoin coins? We're waiting on our end for transaction. And they received these texts while they were in Arizona. So what does that tell you? That
Cross
tells you
state
that
lines.
absolutely, Maureen, that's exactly where we're going. Because now that you've done that, now you're in federal territory. Am I right?
Mhm. Yep.
Okay, so that's, and again, for you listeners, these, as basic as this complaint looks to us, There's a lot of details in there that have to be in there, or else you're not going to get the PC. You're not going to get a judge to sign off on it. Boom,
It's
count
like
one.
checking these boxes. Yes.
Boom, count one. We've established it. That they were in Arizona, and this call came from California. And then we talked about this open source methods, and we talked about the voice over internet protocol. And it allows users to obtain another phone number for their mobile device, so it kind of throws them off. But the feds are
But
better.
here's
Go ahead, Maureen.
here's something else. So for those of you that work dopes, or you got, and all you guys that have followed phones, he says that they found it. Let's see. Is this where it says he got it on open source, through open source, that he got their phone numbers?
Yes. Well, it says it doesn't say how they got their phone numbers, but it says through
okay.
law enforcement through open source saw that number that it came from was not the regional number, so they were able to use that VoIP to get the address. And the rest of this is a little bit technical. It will tell you, and it's redacted. So your viewers, you see those black lines through stuff. That's redacted information, and that's information that they don't want to give out specifics as far as phone numbers, addresses, or names of witnesses. This is just typical redaction, or the full email address, which they redacted here.
Or if someone's email was used, like an innocent party's email was used, they're going to redact that also, which it looks like may be the case here, or whatever.
Hey, Maureen and Will, real quick to back up, it was that first number that I think that went to the TV station was they determined that was a open. They found it through open source, and that it was a VoIP number.
Okay.
So they were able to find it that way.
All right. So now, it explains that. Listen, I'll paraphrase what this says. This basically says somebody used a phone or electronic device in another state to transmit a request in violation of the law. That's your one count. And then it talks about not only did they do that, but they disguised they disguised where it came from with the intent of defrauding or committing a crime. So what we see here, the investigators, the FBI said, we found him. We know that this is the IP address. We know whose IP address this is. And that last line, Maureen, where it talks about, and Timmy and Danny, law enforcement submitted an emergency disclosure request to the internet provider, and they established it was associated with Colella and his residence in California. Timmy and Danny, talk about that emergency request, that exigent circumstance that we've used so many times.
Yeah, we use it all the time. So each telecommunication company, internet company, they have personnel available that are on call, so to speak, or on duty, that law enforcement can submit an emergency request to get emergency information for subscriber information, or in a situation like this, especially in a kidnapping with exigent circumstances, you need that information back immediately. Maureen, the one thing I know that used to drive me absolutely batshit crazy was these phone companies. Is the more and more, even the pay-as-you-go phones, it's very frustrating for law enforcement not to have access to this, but yet the phone company lobby is so strong in DC. It just amazes me in today's day and age that there's still ways that offenders can mask their phone numbers and identifications. It's just to get subscriber information sometimes is like pulling teeth.
I would agree with that, because go ahead, Dan.
I was going to say, if you remember, I think it was on our last show, Maureen touched on how they had relationships with this company, the FBI.
Yeah.
And you and I, Tim, used to say all the time, why doesn't our department do that? Pretty much whining and dining people for contacts to where when we need it, it's instant. But our department,
you could always reach out to your FBI partner, and they've got a person that's known as the PSC who has all these relationships. So we don't wine and dine. Let's just be clear about that. We're not buying alcohol for people and filling them up with truth serum. I know.
Yeah,
But just
figure of speech.
So there's a whole
Now-
number of things going on here. Just exactly what Timmy said and Dan. And also, there are different levels of subpoena power. You can do an administrative subpoena, which goes to the bottom of the pile, and good luck ever getting that information back.
Right.
Certainly not within a timely manner. And then you can, go all the way up to a grand jury subpoena, which goes to the top of the pile. But I think this actually, the exigent one, goes above. I mean, it's just almost like a forthwith. It's
Yeah.
it's great.
But listen, everybody understand this. If they give us exigent circumstances and they give us the information that we're looking for during exigent circumstances without a court order or warrant, they expect us to write that court order or warrant within a certain amount of time. And I think a lot of the time we used with the phone companies, what we did for kidnappings is we're going to give you the information. We need the order within 48 hours. And that's how you keep your relationship up with them. You honor that.
Yes. You don't want to burn a contact anywhere
No,
like that.
absolutely.
That's how you get in big trouble with your colleagues. Another thing to consider are these encrypted apps, which are almost impossible to get into. And even though a backdoor may be technically available, they don't want to do it. If you guys recall the San Bernardino terror attack,
Yep.
our office was trying to get into that phone like crazy, and they were just pretty much saying no. And we were our assistant director at the time, Dave Bowditch, just a wonderful, wonderful FBI agent, just outstanding. He was saying, "Hey, is there a room in a house where I can't write a warrant for? No. Is there a trunk of a car I can't write a warrant for? No. Then why is there a location on a phone that we can't write a warrant for?" And he really, really pushed hard and tried to do everything we could to get that information, but it's still a bone of contention, and it's something that absolutely 100% needs to be addressed.
Yeah, I mean, Maureen, you know that we've been saying that for years, and it's just
Yep.
something that the lobby in DC is just so strong with that. Again, how do you not do that for law enforcement? I mean,
Well, the lobbyists are whining and dining. Let's be clear
Yeah.
on that too. There's a lot of wine and a lot of dining
Whoa.
and a lot of sporting events. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
So let's just finish up this complaint real quick. When we get to page 3. So now they know it's Colella. They pinch Colella. They give him his Miranda warnings. After he's given his Miranda warnings, very important. After he's given his Miranda warnings, he gives it up. He makes admission. It talks about it. Yes, I use these accounts. Yes, I sent these messages. And then he said, Timmy, to your point, that he pulled a family information from a cyber website, and he's been following and watching along on TV. So these are all the only important thing about that is now you got a statement from the offender, and it's post Miranda, so you
Right.
can use it in court.
So that's the statement I was thinking of, guys, a few minutes ago, and that is, if in fact that statement was false, I think it would have said something like that. I think with and my point is this: with Annie being in the business of making jewelry and being a poet, you probably could get her information online. I know people say that that's hard, but I've done a lot of that because I've just done a lot of that. And then also with Tommaso being a grade school teacher and being in a band, there's a chance you would be able to find his cell phone number too. So we'll find out more about this as we progress through this investigation.
So that's it. That's the criminal complaint, and that's how. Again, this is how Colella is caught. This is how they got him. This is how he got. Now, again, and this is still up in the air. Is it somebody who's just trying to find a few bucks, trying to make a quick hit, or it's somebody that's cooperating and they're trying to adjudicate this case?
So
We'll
if we're
see.
looking at the state of the investigation at this point, when this
Yes.
affidavit was written, guys, tell me what your thoughts are. I believe 100% that they're doing everything they can to either tie Colella to Annie and Tommaso, or realize that they're not connected in any way, shape, or form. They can't find anything, even through all their open source intelligence, which is different than what we're talking about with these phone numbers. I mean, serious OSINT, they can find connections that other people probably cannot.
absolutely. I mean, it's been 3 months, 4 months now since the affidavit and since his arrest. So, in that time they've been exploring every link possible to them to see if there's any text messages, old emails, deleted emails. Because let's keep in mind that they imaged Tommaso and Annie's phones, if I remember right, and I think the other person, so including Derek's phone, I think his phone's probably been imaged too, and if not seized. So
Oh, for sure.
so they they're doing a very diligent job of checking the links and seeing, these things could be going back 6 months, 7 months, 8 months to see if there's a phone link or an email link or a text message link or a WhatsApp link, something. So I'm sure that this is another thing that's taken so long. And as you guys know, as everybody that's being witnesses in interviews that are being done, this is being done to all of them. Everybody's getting the treatment, so to speak, is where they're going back searching emails, text messages, and the such.
Yeah.
All right, so we've covered that. Now we're going to move on to the next few days, the 6th through the 9th of February. FBI is now fully involved. They deploy digital billboards. Nancy's car is towed, and they got another ransom note. Now, again, and this is probably the federal investigators, they again return to Nancy's home and they go around the neighborhood, and her septic tank is searched. Savannah does another video, and Cash Patel arrives in Arizona.
I think it was a cistern, not the septic, but semantics. One is like brown water from the house and the other one is sewage. I think theirs was the brown water one. But
Yeah, we got regular city water here. I have no idea what either one of those things do, but I know what a septic tank is.
So real quick to touch on something is Nancy's car is towed and another ransom note is received. So Nancy's car being towed, they did another search warrant to go through that car. That's the search warrant. That affidavit's been sealed, and I'm not sure if that was done in state court in Arizona or if it was done by the feds. But that affidavit's probably just as vague as this affidavit was for the arrest, the criminal complaint.
well, my thought on this from the beginning was, I in my mind, I throw everything up on a timeline. And this happened, Nancy's car wasn't towed to be searched or processed, as we call it, until after the Bureau got involved. So my thought was this: hey, yeah, we're going to be working together. Here we are. We all come together, and you guys have all been in task force meetings or whatever. And we're looking at the warrant for what do you guys have? Let's see the warrants. Let's see what you guys have done so far, so we don't, duplicate efforts. And then you're looking and you say, now this warrant for the house, it says all the outbuildings, the vehicles, the blah, blah, blah. Did you search Nancy's car? And they said, well, maybe not yet or whatever, because it's just sitting here. Well, the fact of the matter is, I mean, that car could have been in play or could still be in play with regard to, something to do
Right.
with this case. So at that time, I think somebody made the decision, and I'm not necessarily saying it was the FBI agent, but I think at that point somebody said, you know what, let's just process it. It's part of the warrant. Let's get it done, and let's see what we come up with.
Makes
And,
sense.
and then 41 or 42 days later, it gets returned.
No,
That's A&T's car.
That was
Annie's car, yeah.
A's car.
Oh, yes. My bad.
All right, what do we got next, Annie?
All right, moving on.
So now the FBI is involved. The video that was not available, the FBI gets the video. That's where we start. That's where we notify. I'm sorry. Let me go back. So the delivery driver, they detain this delivery driver, this Carlos Palazuelos, in connection with the Guthrie disappearance. Why they have him in custody? They execute a search warrant on his house in Rio Rico, Arizona. Of course, he denies any involvement, and he's released without charges. Now we talk about the infamous porch clown recovered from Nancy's doorbell. And he's described as a male with an average build about 5'9". FBI says he's wearing a black Ozark Trail hiker backpack. And the FBI and authorities are now surrounding. Not only are they searching Nancy's area, but they're expanding their search to the surrounding areas. And I think we got a couple of pictures of the porch guy.
And that's when they were sending out all those texts to everyone in the neighborhood to check your cameras for the porch guy.
There's the
So there
porch
he is.
clown.
So there he is. You know, the more I think about this guy and the more I think about his actions, what's he doing over there grabbing weeds? Why would he go to that area to grab the foliage? Is it to cover up a camera that you probably should have already known was there? Why don't you just knock it off the wall, which I guess he eventually does? It's just odd behavior. Plus, the placement of the weapon is odd to me too.
Oh, God, let's not even talk about the placement of that weapon. It's just utterly ridiculous. It's insane. But, you know, I wonder if that camera activated or something as he walked up there. And when it activated, he felt he had to cover it to, I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes Maureen, those cameras have like a little red light or blue light that clicks on when there's
Right.
motion.
Right.
I know
Yeah.
one of the ones I have in by my house, the blue light will click on when it's recording. So it could be he didn't realize that the camera was there until he saw the blue light activated. But if you watch the video of him walking up, his head is down. His head is down, almost as if he knows that camera is there, because he's walking with his head down when he gets close.
You know what? You know what? Even when he turns around in the video, he's looking down. When he makes that turn to go back to get the brush, he's looking down with that bite light. It's kind of weird.
Danny,
what's he doing?
Is he looking down? Is he looking down to avoid that camera, or is he looking down because he's looking for something?
I don't know, but
it could be either way. But go ahead, Maureen.
This photo on the left here, I've always believed that he's looking into one of those long windows on the right. Like, is there someone else inside, or is he looking to see if Nancy's still awake, or, like, is everyone asleep for the night, or?
It's a good point, Maureen. I mean, it definitely does look like that. Just to back up for a minute, you guys have watched the video over and over and over on a link. Do you notice his movements when he goes and bends down and picks up the brush? Isn't it an odd type movement?
Are you talking about it? Maybe he's trying to move some stuff aside, looking for something.
No, I just thought maybe the way his body was positioned. And the reason why I'm asking this is as you go through here, at some point in time, and I remember reading the floodlight camera, the floodlight in the back part of the house was knocked off, was damaged, correct? So was that on the roof line, or was that on?
Yes, on the other side of the house.
Was it within
not right
arms?
there.
Was it within arm's reach, or does he have to stand on something to get to it?
I'm not sure about that. I guess it would depend on how tall he is. My husband could probably reach it, right, for anything.
Well, the reason why I was asking is because, again, I wish we had the video where you could play the video of him walking up, and then when he bends down to pick up that brush, it's not a smooth movement. It's almost as if, I'm theorizing, it's almost as if he fell over the wall, coming over the back, if he was in the back part of the house,
or if his britches are too tight.
Yeah, because he's got pants on under it. Hey, I wanted to talk to you guys. When I first saw this, and every time I see this since, I think he's high or something, and the reason I say that is because his face is so relaxed, his eyes are relaxed, and most people, they can't even screw in a screw without it making it look like you're concentrating on something, and here he's about to commit just one of the most horrific, felonies you can imagine, just a terrible attack on an innocent, elderly person, and he looks like he's just ready to take a nap. Do you guys have any experience with having offenders that do get high before they do something, or they don't want to, and or they need the money, or what are your thoughts on that?
Oh
Heck,
yeah.
heck yeah.
Most
Yeah.
most of our homicides have been that way with an offender that's
Yeah.
high or under
Right.
the influence. I mean,
Now, I don't think an experienced hitman, which I do not think this clown is,
No.
but an experienced hitman would never get high before they're going to go do something like that, in my opinion. But
But
this clown here, he's
but te
probably high.
tell us about a time when you talked to someone or you debriefed someone or they admitted to you that they were high and why they said they did it, if you don't mind.
Well, I could tell you in our triple murder on the south side where a guy was high and he told us during confession how he jammed a broomstick down his mother's throat, his grandmother's throat, to ensure that they were dead as he was beating them, and he was
What was he
high.
high on? What was he high on, meth?
No cocaine.
Yeah, we don't have that here.
Oh,
Well, we didn't have that here. That's not a big drug out in Chicago. It's making it's starting to come around. But when we were, it was always, Chicago loves their cocaine and their heroin.
pills, ecstasy. I
Up
mean, they
on
would.
them pills.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pills and alcohol.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember what he was high on. I thought it was like crack.
But it was all of it, Danny. Pills, crack, alcohol. I
Yeah.
mean,
so it
Yeah,
wouldn't
it
be
was
out of the
something.
ordinary, according to you guys, for him to get high if he was just not really down with the cause and he's trying to get in there and get whatever this job is done.
no,
Absolutely.
I
Yeah.
mean, for a lot of them, seems like it gives them the strength for them to go do their dirty
Yeah.
deed.
Yeah, it gives them the
Push.
nuts.
Strength.
Yeah, the
there
nuts
you
to
go.
go
The
do
nuts to go do it.
Yeah.
Well, it looks like we lost Will, huh?
Oh, well, with the big
wow.
storm.
Yeah.
Yeah. For all our viewers, please bear with us because I know they're battling that storm there in Chicago. I've been fortunate so far where I'm at with
Don't
the
jinx
storm.
yourself.
I
Dan,
know.
don't jinx yourself.
I know. But yeah, we're lucky to be getting through this. Well, why don't we move on here to the next slide?
Keep an eye for
Okay.
Will trying to get back in there, Dan, will you?
Yes. Yes, I'm sure if he can, he will. Here he comes.
I'm back. I don't know what just happened.
There he
Okay.
is. You're back.
That's weird. All right, I'm back.
Maybe they're getting ready to turn my power back on.
Could be. So, and again, I don't know if you guys discussed this, but when Maureen, when you're talking about people that are high when they commit these crimes, what's very important to note for our viewers is if you bring somebody in, and say you just catch them on the scene and they're blitzed out of their mind, you run into a problem when they give a statement later on down the line because part of the end of the statement is, are you under the influence of drugs or alcohol? Are you giving the statement freely? And we've all run into it that, if you take a statement of somebody who's all messed up on dope, you're probably going to lose that statement unless it comes out as a spontaneous utterance.
Or unless it lines up absolutely perfectly with everything that happened and all the physical evidence in place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, right. I mean, me and Danny have had it before in the past where we've had somebody that patrol brings in right after the guy gets grabbed right away. Patrol brings him in, and he's higher than a kite. So you start the rapport with him and build a rapport with him. Hey, get you something to drink, some food or something, and
Yeah.
wait, and you wait for him to come down off of his high.
Yep.
But we've had that plenty of times where you start talking
Yep.
to him and build a rapport and wait for him to come down. You may be in that room for hours with him, getting him comfortable talking to you because he's still high.
Yep.
He can talk about what he did, but then you reassure it later. You go back through the whole motion with the
Absolutely.
Miranda rights and get him to repeat exactly what he said. And fortunately for us in Illinois, in 2005, they started recording the homicide interrogations. So it was how about it, Danny? Everybody seemed like in the beginning they didn't like that, but man, it was a game changer for us.
It was to me, it was fantastic because it
You're
eliminated
getting
all the allegations that they had through the 70s and 80s of torturing and beating. And guess what? They still
talk.
confess.
Yep, they
And
still
it's on
talk.
camera.
You see it. You see them in their natural
You
environment,
and I have
their
gotten
natural
through.
being.
Yeah,
Right,
and
Dan?
that's evolved.
Yep. And
That's evolved a lot. The recording of the statements, videotaping of the statements. Before, when we first started it, and for the viewers, here's how we used to take statements back in the old days: handwritten statement done by a state's attorney who shows up on the scene, court reported statement, a sworn statement by a court reporter that comes in with the machine, and that's what we did. Now the videos start, and how that first initially started, guys, if you remember, is we sat in the room with the state's attorney, and the state's attorney laid out basically the handwritten statement on video. And basically, we didn't do anything. We stood there, just the guy just nodded his head, and it was basically just reading a handwritten statement. That turned into, as soon as a person goes in the room, the camera goes on, and that's when things really took off, I think, in the right direction for us.
Yeah,
mhm.
absolutely.
And it's got to be nice when you have these initial interviews that even though he's high as a kite, he's saying everything he did. And then you have the interview when he sobers up a little bit and it all matches. Then that's got to be,
Yep.
helpful.
And it's always funny, Maureen, because when it gets to court, you always get the defense attorney that wants to cut out the whole first day worth of interviews.
Yep.
because you see it and they're like, and then all you see is the last day, and he's like, all right, we'll just use this part. So it's
Right.
That's interesting. And
All
what
right, Danny,
happens
what do
when
we-
the jury sees the full interview? Because if you guys get it to where you allow that whole first round of interviews, what's the jury's response then? Usually guilty, right?
oh yeah, because you see them in their natural environment when they come in from off the street, and
Yep.
you know,
The
same-
defendant
same-
sitting at the defendant sitting at the defense table with the
fake glasses.
defense issued glasses and all in a suit and looking nice and all. That guy would have never done that. And then you press play. And
Right.
the jury,
That's such a good point. And sitting there with the glasses and the suit on, and the hair is now cut, and the suit's
Yep.
one size too big to make the defendant look a little smaller. All those
Yeah.
techniques.
yep. And then you press play and they see the devil.
Yep.
They
That's
see
good.
the devil. Absolutely. Just as we see him. All right, moving to the next slide.
All right. So now it's February 13th to the present. SWAT operators detained 3 people near Nancy's home, and they search a house. No arrests are made. They investigate a possible internet outage, mixed DNA and video footage. So far, nothing on any of that stuff. That has been released. He releases a statement. Interesting point here. Chris Nanos releases a statement clearing Nancy's family members of any involvement in the disappearance. Hey, guys, why?
Yep.
Why? Even if you don't suspect him, why?
Yeah,
I
he'd have been
agree.
better
Crazy
off saying
town.
nothing. Right.
Unless you've got someone under arrest or already, you know, the case is adjudicated, I don't know how you're going to clear someone, especially someone that's tied so closely to this. Because if you look at everything that's happening, with the exception of Derek Colella in Hawthorne, California, everything just is so close together. It's cloistered almost around her house. It's very, very close. And the bit of evidence that's always stood out to me was the fact that they could never find a car, that they couldn't find a suspect's car. Why? The only To me, the only reason is they had to hide that vehicle very close to Nancy's house, where they didn't have to go on any of the major thoroughfares before they were able to somehow get out of there. And how has there never been a car found? There's no
Yeah.
way that this happened without a vehicle. It's always easier to find a car than it is to find a body.
Mm-hmm.
It's not,
I
it's
mean,
not like it's
I
not
don't
like
know.
you're hiking through a canyon with her on your back.
Right.
right. I mean,
I mean,
but even if you were, there'd be footprints leading away. If you had her in a cart, a horse-drawn cart, there'd be some kind of evidence leading away from there. Which,
And the
Maureen, you
dogs
talked
would have
about,
would have
they'd have
found
picked
it.
up a scent. Maureen, you made a good point a few days ago. And one of those other things we did is, as the scene expands, now it's going to contract for those reasons.
Right.
Yes, sir.
And the last thing we got going is Nancy's family has offered a $1 million reward. Still nobody coming forward.
Blows your mind.
What do you think now, guys? You think that they're building the best case they possibly can because they didn't get the gratification of a quick arrest? Now you have to build the best case you can.
I do.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And I also think that whoever's going to be the defense attorney is going to be one of the best ones in the country. And they're going to move heaven and earth to kick out whatever evidence you have. So you have to have more than one thin vein of evidence before you're going to take this offender down, whoever this offender is.
Yep.
Hey, Danny, do you have the picture of the two guys side by side?
We lose Will again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could put that back up. Yeah,
Oh, you
we've
mean
lost Will again.
You mean the other one, Tim, that has a porch
Yeah,
guy from the month before, the
Yeah.
January 11th, I think? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Hold on. That one.
Yep. So we're all familiar with this photo. Keep an eye for Will coming back in, though, Danny.
I am.
Okay.
I'm looking for him.
What did you want to tell us about this photo, Tim?
So, what's your guys' thoughts on this? So, obviously, the guy on the left doesn't have the backpack and he doesn't have the gun strapped on. This is almost a month before. The thing I thought was interesting is it appears that he has two different color shoes on from the 11th of January till the day Nancy's grabbed on the 1st. Do you think that this, obviously this was more than likely a dry run, but do you think that this is the same guy, or do you think that this is a second
100%.
offender? Do you
I
think
think
this
it's
is the
the same-
same guy or second offender?
Same guy, 100%. I don't care if he has different shoes. Most guys are like Imelda Marcos anyways. They go, how many pair of shoes do you have? Well, Tim, you
One.
probably don't have one.
Liar.
I just got me a pair of cowboy boots.
Oh my God. And you wear them to construction sites too when it's 90 degrees out. Actually, that doesn't surprise any of us. But some guys have 20 pair of shoes. I think it is the same guy, but the thing about this photo on January 11th, it just kicks the can out of out of the stadium. There's no way that this was a random act at this
Oh,
point,
no.
because you have an offender that's here a month before, trying to see if the cameras are worked. Do the police get called? You know, because on a dry run, one of the main things they're looking for is how long is it going to take for the cops to get here if they're called.
Right. One
Absolutely.
of the other things I think that on this dry run, this reconnaissance trip, so to speak, was I think he was checking to see if cameras, or not so much cameras, but porch lights and lights would go off, motion lights.
Motion
Yep.
lights.
Motion lights either at Nancy's house or the surrounding houses, the neighbors and stuff like that. I think that's what the purpose of this reconnaissance was, and probably map out a escape route.
Right.
Yeah, the whole 9 yards. I believe that totally. I believe it is the same guy, and I do believe it's a dry run.
Yeah,
That's my opinion. That's a dry run to see, is anybody going to notice me? Anybody going to call the cops? Are the motion lights going to come on? You know, all kinds of stuff like that. Because let's face it, this is a major incident. So you're
Right,
trying to, you're trying to get to do the best that you can to not get caught.
right. Plus, Dan, how many times have we gone back through? You're reading through the 911 calls, and you see like there's 3 or 4 calls,
Mm-hmm.
and then
Will's
you go
trying to
back
get
and
back in, Danny.
Gotcha.
and then you try to do you
I
go
don't see him.
back there and do a canvas, and it's like, well, why didn't you call 911? I didn't think it was that big of a deal.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we talked about that. Remember, somebody
Yeah,
saw that guy, and it was like, I'm looking for Will. I'm not seeing him, but the neighbor that saw the guy and had that neighbor call the police, and that's why I tell our viewers, call the police when something doesn't look right.
Right.
Let them come take a look at it. You can even ask to be anonymous.
yeah. I mean,
But
that's what they're
you
getting. That's what
can
they're getting
tell
paid.
when something's not right. What is this guy doing walking through here at night?
Especially dressed
And
like that.
yes, yeah. So had that neighbor. I don't want to put burden on that neighbor, but
No.
but I do. You have to wonder: does it change what happened here? If does it change what happened if that neighbor would have called? I mean, how many times in Chicago we've seen where the bank, or they go hit the local 7-Eleven, and somebody says, "Oh yeah, I seen this guy hanging around there like hours before," and it's like, why didn't you call it? Or the car that doesn't belong there, it's parked on the next block over, just idling. Call the police.
Right.
Call the police. Glad to have you back, Will.
I don't have any. The Mother Nature is playing tricks with me here.
Hey, it's live TV, man. It's live.
Well,
It's not nice
we
to-
solved the case while you were gone, Will.
Time to fool. Good. Somebody did. It's not nice to fool with Mother Nature. Wasn't that
No,
like
it's
a
not.
margarine commercial or something back in the day?
How's the storm? Is it loud? Do you have a lot of thunder?
No,
I
it stopped. It's over. Now you got down. Now the cleanup begins. You got down trees. Power's out still.
Man.
Wow.
Yeah, power lines were taken out all the way. For anybody's familiar with the area, I was in Palos when it hit, and it hit hard, and half the trees fell directly across the power line. So we did okay here. My internet doesn't think so, but we did okay here.
Yeah. Hey, we've got a ton of questions that
Let's get to the questions.
Let's go.
Yeah, let's get to them.
Let's go.
And before we get to that, do we want to talk on the map that was provided to the HOA by Annie? Do we want to talk on that or no?
We kind of covered what it was, and I don't know why. I mean, we can only speculate why she did it.
Yeah, right. I mean, here it is, but it's
What do you think,
Well,
Ken?
Dan, this goes back to what me and you have said before in the past. Is, again, we don't know, but I highly doubt that these interviews with Annie and Tommaso were done in an interrogation room. They
no.
were probably done in their living room at their house. So
Yep.
you as a detective lose the advantage. I mean, that you're sitting on their couch. You're sitting on their couch. You're at their
And
home.
they probably interviewed them together, Tim.
Yeah, well, exactly. So
Yeah.
I mean, our standpoint, that was always a no. They're coming into the office,
Yeah.
and they're going to sit down and do an interview, whether it's in the office or whether you take them down to the grand jury and
Yeah.
interview them in the grand jury. But it's
The only one that didn't freeze. Oh, there, Dan, you guys are all frozen. Now you're starting to unfreeze. Okay.
so. I mean,
Okay.
it's just weird. It's just weird with this map. I mean, I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand why she would provide a map. Again, a lot of questions. I could think of 10 questions right off the top of my head just looking at that map, and that's something that she provided to the HOA. Why, you got a guilty conscience? Or
I don't
Right.
know, but I mean, her mom's car is there. Her friends, I don't know how many friends she has, but presumably a good chunk of them are over at the other house, having brunch or whatever after mass. And she can't walk this far. So I guess maybe these are the places that she frequents, and perhaps someone else picked her up and just brought her to these places.
Right.
That's actually something to consider.
it is. I mean, but I mean, on a side note, Danny, how many times have we slid a piece of paper over and asked somebody to draw? Well, show us how you got out of the neighborhood, or show us what you did. I mean,
Quite a bit.
we've used handwritten maps plenty of times, and
Yep.
show us where you were at when this happened, or show us how you left. So it's just odd from a detective standpoint. Looking at that, I'd be giving it the old fisheye. It's like,
Tell me why you're giving it the fisheye, and also tell us what would happen when your offenders would give you those handwritten notes. Why was
Well-
you're saying it's interesting? Why?
So obviously you take the handwritten note, because now that handwritten note is in their handwriting, and that's their incriminating statement, so to speak. You
And
can
it
use
becomes part of the official file.
right.
that
You can
note
use that.
becomes-
You can use that down the road in the investigative file, which will be used as evidence in a future trial. She hands you a note or provides it to the HOA, and it's my understanding from the HOA she also provided it to the investigators. So if she provided it to the investigators, I think they'd be derelict and ask if they did ask follow-up questions. And well, why do you think she would have went this way? And then how have you gone this route with her in the past before? And then I think I'd be grabbing her car to see if there's any telematics that do that in the infotainment center. I don't know what kind of car she had, but I would be going back through her phone to see if she's gone this route before. For maybe on January 11th when the dry run was. I get it that she did it to provide investigators and detectives with to check in camera routes. Well, I'm pretty sure there's cameras in that whole region, in that whole area that have been isolated.
And I don't get, how the heck do you know which way? How could you even come to any kind of conclusion on which way they would have took your mom? I don't get that part.
Maybe
You
they've
can
been
go
going to the
north,
same nail salon for 20 years, and back then their mom would drive them, and she always went the same way. I don't
yeah.
know.
I mean,
But guess what? Nancy wasn't driving, getting out of there.
Well,
Whoever the offender was.
right. I
Right.
mean, it's possible from, like I said, Maureen, from a detective standpoint, you provide that. I mean, it's just, I'd be on heightened awareness of, it's like, okay, well, that's something that should be. I would be now, based off of that map, I would be going back, tracing all her electronic devices to see if it goes, if they've ever hit off of a tower in that area, and how close they were to that map. The car, her car, Tommaso's car, whatever other vehicles that they've used, would be going back and checking to see if those cars have gone along that route. And
And
then
I'd go to
obviously,
I'd look at her credit card statements and I'd go to the nail salon and say, when does she come here? Does she come once a week or once every 2 weeks? And then start looking at the paper trail or the electronic trail.
right, exactly. I mean, it's just kind of
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah.
All right, Danny boy, what do
Anyway.
our
Yeah,
viewers want to
let's
see?
start getting to the questions. But before we do that, 10,172 subscribers now. We broke the 10,000 mark. And
Thanks,
to the
everybody.
viewers, thank you so much. And even with all this that went on tonight with the weather and everything, and everybody hung in there with us. And I, from the bottom of my heart, thank you for being here with us.
And so do I. And
Yeah.
please help us grow. If there's any way you can help us grow, we would really appreciate that.
Yes. And
We
please,
appreciate you guys.
of course, share for us, like, subscribe, and share for us. We super duper big time appreciate it.
Okay, hurry up, Danny, because
Anyway.
we have 1,000 questions. Just kidding.
We have a lot. So, all right, starting here. D. DeMarco Foob. What about this new gal Nanos has banned a suspect that all retired and active cops in Tucson know her? I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
Yeah, I don't know what that is.
Someone try to get us more information for next time.
Yeah. So they called off the search so quickly. Totally agree. That's from Remy stuff. JDub PXP, what are some examples of what you think is on the 911 call and why they would withhold that call from us? Good question.
Mm-hmm.
Who wants to jump on that?
Hang on,
I think possibly maybe the description of the interior of the house, maybe what her bedroom looked like. Could be, yeah, her slippers are here, her shoes are here. Again, we speculated for how many weeks until we got that affidavit from the criminal complaint about her hearing aids. I mean, that poor woman. Think about this. That poor woman's got no way of hearing these guys. Her last few minutes, she can't hear a damn thing that they're saying to her.
The fear in her heart must have been.
I mean, it's horrific.
Yes.
And maybe it was, there was a lot of talk, as you guys recall, about the location of the Apple Watch that must have been ripped off the side table or whatever, or ripped off her wrist for that matter. So perhaps that information was contained in this 911 call. We don't know, but there was something that's germane to the evidence. And in order to, because if people come in and confess to crimes, the way you tell if they're being truthful or not is, do they have information that other people, that the general public does not have? And it's all the stuff that you keep close to the vest.
Yep.
And it's pretty interesting because Danny, on our cases, on our heater cases, you'd have media sources and news media organizations filing the FOIA requests to get the 911 calls and stuff like that. And we would, how about it, Will? You as a command officer, we would have to battle with our department lawyers on releasing that stuff.
All the time. And if you didn't release it, you had to answer it. We get FOIA requests all the time that we don't necessarily release the information on, but you have to answer it. You have 14 days to answer that FOIA request one way or the other.
Right. So, I mean, they must have different rules or different laws in Arizona, because I'm kind of surprised that 4 months later that at least the call hasn't been released. Yeah.
All right. Next question from Kathy Mack from NS.
Goddamn.
Chris has sources that said it was actually around 11 a.m. when A and T went to Nancy's house to check on her. What are your sources telling you about that part of the timeline? Where'd Will go again?
What was the beginning? Where are they? So who's saying that?
Uh, Chris McDonough has
Oh yeah.
sources that said it was actually around 11
Yes.
a.m. when A&T went to Nancy's house to check on her. What are your sources telling you about that part of the timeline?
I don't have any source information saying anything other than that. I do know that Chris is a great investigator and he's got really good sources, and he and his wife Karen do a great job. So I mean,
Yes.
if they say that it happened at 11, and when you consider the fact that the mass or the church gathering was supposed to be at 10, and that's when that
Mhm.
call went to Annie and Tommaso, I
Yeah.
I would agree with, Chris that 11 AM would be a much better time for them to get there. I mean, I would get there if someone called me about my mom and, I mean, right now, Tim, you're dealing with situations like this too. If somebody
Right.
called you like that, you'd be there in your underpants in 3 minutes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not in your underpants, but
Pair of shorts.
Fruit
yeah,
of the
pair of
Loom
shorts.
suit. Tidy
Fruit of the
whities.
tidy whities.
Tidy whities Timmy.
Yeah. Tidy Timmy.
All right,
Yeah.
moving on.
We got
Joy
Will in the waiting room.
Legigi. I clicked him and he didn't come up then.
Okay, sorry. Sorry to bug you.
No, that's okay. No, I want Will to come back in.
He says he's locked out again, so he's in the waiting room again.
No.
Okay, sorry.
Let me see here. Hold on. Okay, here we go. I got him.
Well, Will, you should be
There
happy
he
to
is.
know
Poof.
that you missed our conversation about Timmy being in his underpants, so that's good.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I'm sorry I missed that. If this happens
Yeah.
one more time, this computer is going to become a boat anchor. Good Lord.
Okay. Next
Yes,
question,
okay.
Danny.
Moving on. Joy Legigi, A&T, were they interviewed at the sheriff's department separately? I doubt it.
But
We don't know, but we
We
don't
we
know. We
don't
can't say
know.
for sure.
Yeah, we don't know, but I'm guessing the way that whole thing went, no. But I could be wrong.
I hope you're wrong, and I'm gonna just go out on a limb and say I have faith in Pima County that they did the right thing and brought him into the station.
I sure hope so.
We'll
Yes.
see.
Nicely put, Maureen.
We'll
Can
Uh,
you
see.
see my
Kim,
can you see my face, or am I frozen?
no,
We
we
see
no,
see
you,
you.
you're good.
and
You're
we
No,
see
good.
your
that's
clutch cargo lips
that's my
flapping
Yeah.
too.
that's my smirk.
Yeah,
For once, it's not just me.
I
It's
know.
No kidding. Seriously.
all right. Kim Olson. How would Nancy get to the girlfriend's house for the church service? Why haven't the friends spoken out? I
She
thought it was
wasn't.
supposed to. Yeah,
It
it was
was a
She
supposed to be
drove.
computer.
like,
It was computer.
yeah,
She drove. You guys, it's my guess that when Nancy went out, went over to the family's house for dinner, she probably, like many people, I mean, even 65 and older, don't like driving at night. So she probably took the Uber there because she likes getting driven home at night. But she may be perfectly okay to drive during the day and doesn't have a problem with that at all, you know?
yes,
Good
yes.
point.
But I was under the impression though that the church service was zoomed.
Yeah, when
But I think they get
they
together
watch
for
it
it,
from a
though.
friend's house, and
Oh, okay.
a group of people get together, and
Oh,
I would just guess that, um, you know, they were all told, I guess the family members, according to Kathy Lee, who's a friend of Savannah's, she was told by Savannah, please just don't talk about my mom or what my family, anything like that. So I'm guessing a lot of these people were told the same thing. But if and when there's a trial, and I hope there's a trial and all this stuff comes out, I wouldn't be the least bit surprised to find out that these ladies got together every Sunday and it was a rather social affair, and then
yeah,
they had brunch or something afterwards.
yeah,
Also, if you look at all the videos of Savannah with her mom on her show, And I just want to say, Savannah obviously loved her mom so much. You could see it, you could feel it. It was great.
Oh yeah.
But her mom liked to have a glass of Chardonnay or a margarita. And when they went to that Mexican restaurant,
Yeah.
Savannah said to her mom, "Don't drink the whole thing." So I mean, if her mom went out anywhere and had a cocktail, she
Yeah.
probably would either Uber or get a ride.
Yeah.
Probably right.
All right. Kelly McClellan. How do you
Nice
think
Irish
this
name.
case will be solved? DNA, finding remains, someone talking, etc. Who wants to
All
weigh
the
in on that?
above.
Yeah, but the short answer to that question is yes. And here's why, Kelly. That's a great question. And here's why the answer is yes. You need them all. You're going to need all of them or 3 out of 4 of them. And this is what we talked about earlier. Everything's slowed down now. Now you're going to build the best case you can. And you can't bring this case until you have all of those things, or at least most of them.
Yep. Agree.
And you have to operate under the assumption that something's going to get tossed. Something's
Yeah.
going to get thrown out. You just
Yes.
don't know what it is. So you're going to take extra time to get a couple more bricks to put it on that wall that you're building.
Yeah. All right. Michelle Huffman. Michelle Huffman is a member to our channel and asks, what happened to the package that was on her porch in one picture of the porch guy, but not in the other one? Maureen?
I didn't see that. I thought that package showed up after the abduction. There was a delivery
Yeah,
That's
a
what
day
I-
or two afterwards. That's my recollection. I don't think there was one on the porch, but if someone knows better, let us know in the comments, please.
Yes.
yeah. I think you're right, Maureen. I think it was after she went missing.
Beatrice Ruiz. The next day was Monday, trash day. Who took her trash out? She couldn't walk good.
Maybe she left it outside the back door as a general rule until someone showed up that would do it for her. I don't know. Or she had a bin outside that she could put it in.
Yeah.
That's a really good question. Well, here's a question. Oh boy, that's a great question. And here's why that's a good question. If by the time, no, she was already reported missing on the Sunday, right? The next day was Monday. Do you think that they would have allowed the trash to be picked up from that house, the investigators?
No,
I
No.
wouldn't have.
nope,
No.
Nope.
nope.
You find so much good stuff in trash.
Yes.
Yes. That's another good point, and not to get too sidetracked, but why do we love trash pools so much?
Oh.
Because it's got a lot of information in it.
It's got a lot of information, and once you discard something in a container and set it out to your curb, it becomes public.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. You can see what kind of drugs people are on. Not that, I mean, you can say, "Oh, I didn't know he had diabetes," and that could explain why he's going to Dunkin' Donuts every morning. Or you can see bills that they have. Wow, this guy's got like 14 delinquent payment bills.
Hey,
He's in financial trouble.
hey,
Or
Danny. How many times, Danny? Sorry, Maureen. How many times, Danny, did we drive up to a house in the middle of the night and pick up their garbage?
Well, you're public servant, so I
yeah.
commend you for
All
that.
the time.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
Danny just
even
dressed
more
up
when
like
I
he
was a
worked-
narc.
Yeah. Oh, narc
Oh,
for sure.
yeah.
Danny just
When I was
dressed
a
up like one of the guys.
narcotics officer. Yeah.
Danny just
Just
dressed up
sifting
like.
through the alley.
Go ahead, Dan.
Just sifting through the alley.
All right, now I'm going to
Anyway.
talk Danny. Danny's got an outfit. He dresses up like he's from Streets and Sand, right? I could just see
Yeah.
you. That's Streets
Oh,
and
yeah.
Sanitation for people
Yeah.
not from
Hey, how
Chicago.
you doing?
How you
His
doing?
garbage man outfit. Yeah, Streets and
Yeah.
Sand is our garbage men.
Yeah.
Which by the way, I love my garbage men.
I love Streets and Sand. Yep.
Next question is from one of our members, Nita. I would like to know if they have any pig farms close by. Ooh.
Oh, I know where you're going there.
Yeah, Nita. Yeah, she's. Ooh.
I would say no.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's,
That's
but
Wisconsin, Iowa.
I mean,
Yeah.
I know where
I
you're going there,
don't
Anita.
know. Yeah. It's a good question, though. Salty Sleuth is next.
All right.
It says Billpox, or actually, it's probably Pillbox. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
reverse.
Right.
I don't know.
Well, I mean,
I've
that's
heard
good.
is all I've heard
We've-
is the medication wasn't taken. She didn't take it that night. That's all
And
I've heard.
we've speculated on that possibly, and again, there's a lot of comments in there saying, well, I have to remind my mother to take her meds. From what all we know is Nancy was sound of mind, not necessarily of body. And I mean, I can only speculate that there's an AM PM pill box, like a dual pill box, and the PMs were still there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Spirit and me, do you think someone is in the house? Me personally, I do. That's just my opinion. I think that when Nancy goes to go into the house, that the offender, one of the offenders, is waiting inside. That's just me.
I kind
Well,
of
not if
agree.
they're at the door at 147. Aren't they trying to gain entry at 147?
Yeah, but I mean, really, do we really know what's going on in that house all that time?
No, we don't. You're right. We don't.
All right.
No, but what we do know is it almost sounds like she was prepping to go to sleep. She took her hearing aids out. You know what I mean? So all that stuff was out there. So, but that's my initial thought too. Is someone was waiting on her, and as soon as she got in, they detained her, and then they got the rest of the crew going. But that's not going to take 3.5 hours.
Yeah.
Right. I would say I'm going to push back on that a little, because if someone was waiting for her on the inside, when she left, she would have had her hearing aids in. She would have had,
Right.
they ripped off the Apple Watch. I would say just because of the hearing aids that someone gained entry at that 147 marker around there.
Well, I agree. It
Tim,
seems like
go
she was
ahead.
prepping herself for bed.
Yeah. Tim?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys covered this before I was able to get online. I mean, from my own experience, somebody, from my parents and in-laws, is you're up there in that age. If you're supposed to take pills at 10 o'clock, you're taking pills at 10 o'clock.
Absolutely.
So I don't know. I mean, it wasn't clear in that affidavit. It just said medication was present. So did she take the 10 o'clock, the 10 o'clock pills? I think that would be a telltale sign of she gets grabbed right as she walks in the door, or like Will said, she's getting ready to undress for bed and put pajamas on, and then maybe go back out to the kitchen for the pills. But it's that would be a telltale sign for the detectives going down the road, whether or not when she gets actually grabbed. I mean, your point with the watch more is huge too. Is I mean, that could set the whole thing in motion right at that point.
And it's a great question that you would have of the family, specifically A&T.
Yeah.
That you would think that they would know how she is. Is she like religious about taking her meds, or is she kind of laissez-faire with it?
Yeah,
you would think that they would know that. I mean, you would definitely think that they would know that.
Right.
But her arriving home at 9:48 actually always made me think that she was getting home to be there to take her 10 p.m. meds.
Exactly.
It's a great point. Great point, Morgan.
And
moving on, Mary, was there a 911 call earlier in the evening and someone called 911 reporting 3 to 4 men in black clothes and white shoes with face masks? Do you think this is related to Nancy's kidnapping?
That's the first I'm hearing of that.
Yeah.
No, there were calls. I know it was on that other podcaster's website. The girl,
Juanita Adame.
Yeah, she had pulled up some calls from people, but I don't know how close the vicinity is to Annie's house
I
or to
believe it
Nancy's
was 3 to 5 miles.
Okay, yeah. So it's
So that's
kind of
close.
yeah. I mean,
And
it's,
they were reportedly wearing the face mask the whole
Yeah.
full fleet? Really?
yeah,
But I've
yeah.
never heard anything else about that. So,
yeah. I've never heard
I
any
don't
follow up to it or not. So
so I'm wondering, was it a different time frame or, you know, I'm gonna call it unverified now only because this case has been scrutinized like crazy since the very beginning, and this is the first we heard about it was what, the other day, Tim?
right, right. But getting to that point, Maureen, is them investigators there, they have definitely followed up on that lead. That was definitely
100%.
that was something that they had followed up on. At least we hope anyway.
So we're gonna keep our eyes and ears open on that, and if we get anything definitive, and we'll work our sources to see if we can come up with anything, and, um, and let you know. We'll let you know next time.
Okay, Donna Newberg. Why can't they colorize the porch guy video?
I don't know,
Donna.
I'm sure they've tried.
Donna,
Because
God
I don't
bless you,
know
but you know, God bless you, Donna, but you know better than to ask us technical questions.
Well,
I can't even stay on a damn podcast.
part of it is when you put it in AI, like even like an old photograph, and you put it into AI, and you say colorize this, and then you don't even know what colors it's going to come up with. It may come up with burgundies,
Right.
reds, greens, and then you can say make it a little lighter, make it. I just think that there's just too many variables, and it's when when an image is in black and white, your color is when you colorize, it's a guesstimation.
Yeah. All right, moving on.
Infrared, yeah.
Rock Girl Days. Did she get home? Question mark.
Well,
I believe she did. I'm in that camp.
because of all of her stuff was there.
Yeah.
And unless you want to go out on a limb and say they took it all off her and they staged it. I mean, but who could have done that if that is what
I
happened?
used to really think about that scenario of did she ever get home at all? But the pacemaker issue really stumped me on that theory. So I just don't know how you would really get around the pacemaker. You know, linking to
Apple Watch.
the watch, the monitor in the house. I mean, there's a lot. So I think that, and then you would have to actually go with, a rag and squeeze blood out or a turkey baster or something. I just don't think it's that deep.
It's usually the easier answer.
Yeah. I suspect that
All right.
whoever is behind this whole thing didn't expect Nancy to, like we all think, and at least I think anyway, to die so fast.
Yeah, I agree with you, Will. I don't think they expected that, and it derailed their plans. It derailed their operation.
Yeah.
Yeah, whoever it was, they could have expected to just kidnap Nancy, hide her in a relatively safe place
Right.
for a couple of days, get some cash, and then go about their life. But
Yeah.
obviously
Or
that didn't happen.
or just a straight up elimination murder.
Yes.
Good Lord.
Straight up.
Yep.
Yeah, we've seen that before. So
Yes, we have.
It's the one thing that makes the most sense when you look at everything involved.
Mm-hmm.
Who benefits?
You hate to think that way, but that's what we do. We have to think that way. And I guarantee a lot of our viewers are agreeing with that.
Okay.
Yeah, and
but who benefits?
Yeah, well, you're right. And that's what when we talk about the state of the investigation right now, and actually since the beginning, that was a question that all the investigators are asking: who benefits and how do they benefit? And what does that even look like? They're breaking everything down, every asset she has. Is it connected to anybody? Is anyone else tied to that deed? Is that, all these questions have all been answered, and it's all locked and loaded, and it's just one of those bricks in that wall that they're building. or many. It's
Let me
probably
ask
represents
let,
a number of bricks.
let me ask you this: for somebody who's struggling for money, you go out and just sell some gold that's from her. You're liquidating small assets.
But if it's an elimination murder and the motivation for that elimination murder is a large policy or something like that, that you may or may not be the beneficiary, you need the body.
Yeah, but
You need the body.
but take the policy, the life insurance policy, out of play,
Okay.
and just think about small. Okay, now we're just going to sell her car. We're going to sell off some jewelry, stuff like that. I don't know. It's just a thought.
Right.
It's just a thought. I think most of the viewers have known where I've come from on this.
Well, you know what? On those situations with the policies, the insurance company is going to be holding up payment on anything, especially if it's a significant amount. We've seen it time and time again where they're not going to make a payout until they can be guaranteed that it's not somebody from within her close circle.
Yeah.
Oh, I've taken many in the homicide office. I've taken many calls from insurance companies where they say, listen, this person was murdered on this date. This person is a beneficiary. Are they a suspect?
Oh,
They ask you
yeah.
directly, or has this person been charged?
Yeah. We would get them calls all the time.
Yeah. Right.
Yep.
But most of those weren't missing, the body missing. Those were just straight
That's what I
up
mean.
murders. Yeah.
That's
right.
what I mean.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Red's girl. This is Red's girl. Have any of you looked into the woman that is now wanted in Tucson for kidnapping and aggravated assault? Thoughts on her as a suspect? They are not telling us anything about the crime. I don't think that the porch clown is a woman. A lot of people have asked that. I just personally don't think so. I don't know whether whoever else is involved in this incident is a woman.
I don't know.
There's nothing to suggest that it is. Just opinions.
Yeah, I don't know about that one.
Tokarenpi. Monks showed a video that there may be a wheel track and blood spatter at the front door. Do you think Nancy could have been wheeled out? Maybe why she was not taken down the steps. I don't recollect seeing a wheel. I'm not doubting.
Yeah, I had saw it. It's on one of the blood spatches that's on the ground.
And you could see a tire mark.
It's not a tire mark. It's a partial. Right, Maureen. I don't know. Did you see it? It's a partial. Like blob.
Transfer. It's a transfer pattern on the concrete. The problem, though, I have is, it seems like some of this blood evidence from the very first time we saw it, when Brian Enton's drone went over it till now, other things are cropping up online, and I'm not sure it's true, accurate, or correct depiction of what happened. But Monk's Intrigue does a really good job as a general rule. And what he did was he had a small wheel that apparently is a wheel that can be used as a replacement wheel for all kinds of those dollies that you use to roll stuff in and out. And I'm not sure, but I think his premise was it could be done by one person if they had a good dolly with the top part kind of angled, so you have it laying down and then you can tip it up so you can move it and roll it around.
Yeah.
Meaning Nancy's in a like in a tarp of some sort.
Yeah.
She's on a dolly, and once on the dolly, they use the bungee cords to keep her hooked on the dolly. And as she's walking out, that's when she breathes out that blood, or that blood comes out of her mouth, and the back wheel rolls through it, and creating this transfer impression on the walkway. But
Gotcha.
that's what Monks was saying.
Okay. And shout out to Monk. He's a pretty sharp young man. I gotta give him credit.
He sure is. Yep.
Yeah. Jazz 1959, do you think we will ever find the killer? I do.
I do as
I do
well.
too.
I do.
I as well.
I just hope that it isn't so screwed up from the outset that that killer gets away with it. That's my worry from when it goes to court. But I do
They have
think
some
they're gonna-
hurdles.
yeah, they have some hurdles. All right. Christine, did this whole thing even happen or was it all fake and staged? Nah,
Well, Nancy's missing.
Yeah, she's missing.
I don't think the whole thing was staged. I just think that would be entirely too difficult. There are just
Yeah.
way too many extra steps. Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to make, it seems like you're cramming a round peg into a square hole or a square peg into a round hole, trying to make all these different things jam in there. When in reality, the simplest explanation is probably the one that'll tell you what happened. So, do I
Yeah.
think she was taken out of that home? Yes. Do I think she's no longer with us? Yes.
Yeah.
Do I think it was for money? I do. And everything else we're going to find out when they arrest the perpetrator.
Right. Fraudulent slip. There's no way that timeline is correct. I don't know if they're talking about our timeline.
My timeline?
Yeah.
Why not?
No, she may be talking about the timeline with when we were talking earlier about that hour difference where Chris McDonough and the guys in the interview room were saying it was probably more along 11 a.m.
Yeah.
When the family
Oh.
got there versus 12.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right, moving on. We got a lot of them. So Donna Newberg, I'm here, Silver Foxhound from Springfield, Missouri. Wicked Storms. Guess where I'm originally from? New Hampshire. Hi, Donna. Christine, no, Jan Pagel. Jan Pagel's been with me from
Andy
after
froze.
Nancy Guthrie. I know this is an old question. It's been months. It's been months since you left, but I would like to hear your take on it. That's kind of what we've been talking about. Maureen, you just hit the nail on the head with, yeah, she was taken, she's dead, and I think that we all agree that there will be an arrest made on this,
Mm-hmm.
and
And
just
money's
pray
behind
for
it
successful
somehow.
prosecution so the SOB will rot. Yeah, I hope that the rotten SOB rots in prison for the rest of their life for what they did to that poor lady.
And then rots in hell.
Yes. Resilience 26. So I don't believe that text and 6-second call from DC was random. Why didn't he send it to the other siblings who are way better off financially? Why A&T?
Because maybe
Good
they were the
question.
ones that they could find, but it is a good question. Yeah.
Yeah. Again, like I said, it's either a crime of opportunity by that guy or they're
something bigger
trying to
going
cut a
on.
deal. They're trying to cut a deal with him quick to adjudicate his case and get him to cooperate. Either way.
Yep. Does anyone know if the front door was locked? That's from AZ Native 70.
We don't know for sure, but in my estimation, that front door was in fact locked because it just would make sense. There's no reason to have a door like that, gated door like that
Security
without
gate.
locking it. A security gate, yeah.
Exactly.
Plus, if we believe it, if we believe she went into the house, she went in through the garage. She didn't even use the front door.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah, those doors. Why would you have that on and not have it locked? So, Kaz Yamaner. Last time she was seen inside her garage by whom? Tommaso.
Tommaso.
This affidavit actually says this person, she was last seen inside her house. So I'm guessing someone walked her in, and I'm guessing Tommaso, was a gentleman and walked his mother-in-law into the house.
Would have to be Tommaso,
That's
right?
Wow. Yeah.
Yeah,
He gave her the
I
ride
would
home.
think.
Yeah.
Yeah. It contradicts what the reports are, though, doesn't it? I thought they said she got out of the car and went in, and the door closed, and that was it.
But there was no statement made by anyone after that. So the assumption was the garage door opened at 9:48. She walked in,
Yeah,
it closed at 10 and or 2 minutes later, and
yeah,
then they left. But
yeah.
Yeah, there was some
Nano,
statement by Nano, something along that effects, more right? That I know where
yes,
you were going. But
yeah. He said the family got her settled.
yes, yes.
Lee Riptide. I watched Dr. B last night. He thinks the deed was already done and why Porch Guy was calm. And another profiler said Porch Guy isn't right. He tries to cover the camera. He could have smashed it with a rock.
Yeah, there are a lot of rocks out there. That's a good observation.
Yep.
Yeah, but he had to take the camera with him. He didn't. I guarantee he didn't realize that you could pull images off the back end without the device.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So that's the reason why. That's the reason why he took the camera with him.
Mm-hmm.
FBI knows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They did
All
a good
right.
job.
Inner Strength. Hello, Inner Strength. Another one's been with me forever. I should say with us. Does that mean it's an FBI case now and not Pima? Nope. Still
No.
Pima.
Yep.
Still Pima.
They're both working it.
Yeah. Bella Bambina. What if she was better at walking and or getting around than what the family said, meaning they could have gave a narrative of this poor old lady?
Nope.
Yeah, I don't.
There's video footage of her walking with a cane, and I'm not going to go there. No.
Yeah. Okay. Robin Riggs. What happens if or when the FBI doesn't agree on a suspect? Like if the FBI believes it quotes A and T, but sheriff doesn't agree. That's a good
Sheriff
question.
doesn't get to make that call. Prosecutor gets to make that call.
Yeah.
Yes. In investigations, specifically in a case like this for the viewers, we would always present the facts to the prosecutor's office, and they decide on charges, not us. They decide on it, just so everybody knows how that works.
Yep.
We ask for a certain charge, and they say, "Yep, you got it," or you don't.
Yep.
Yeah, we're thinking he's good for this, that, or the other thing.
Right.
And
That's
they'll
why
say,
a lot
well,
of people, the police charged this one, and police charged now the prosecutor did, state's attorney's office. Kelly McClellan, thank you very much, Kelly, for the donation. My theory, they intended to go out back, but realized they had to go out the front, and Porch Guy is preparing front for exit. Just my opinion.
That's a good theory, and
It
I was just about to ask the same question about that. They prop the back doors open. Is there a large wall around the backyard of that house?
Yes.
it's more like a pony wall, like a half. Well,
Yeah, it goes like in a couple stages in certain spots. But the bizarre thing is, why don't they just unlock the front door and walk out the front door?
Yeah,
Well, and you got the blood there, so
there's at least 3 or 4 ways of egress from that house: the back door, the garage that she went in, the front door, windows. Yeah. There's a lot of avenues of egress from that house.
the sliders in her bedroom into that exterior patio room.
You know, the other thing is that a big security gate on that front door?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it is.
It's one of those like $250 ones from Home Depot.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Because you know how those houses in Chicago are in the certain areas of the city, got those big monster security gates. Mm-hmm. And you need the key to open the door.
We like to call it a Chicago bar too.
It's they got a name for those doors. What are they? They're called something in the city.
Defender steel doors.
They
Is that
like
what they're? All right. I thought they were called something
Defender,
else.
Gorilla. I think it's Gorilla Doors or something like that.
Yeah, they have a specific name for them in the
Yeah.
city.
But you're right, Will. The only way you're getting that bad boy open, well, there's two ways: hook up
A winch.
a
Yeah,
winch,
And pull it.
the
or
old,
a Chicago
or three
bar.
ways, or get the Chicago bar, or just grab the key.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
it's the only way
Should-
you're doing it.
So for our viewers, Chicago bar is this long metal bar, pry bar. It's got a couple of things on the end, and it's got two hooks. You would jam those hooks right where the deadbolt would go through, and you'd create separation so you could pop that door. That was
Let's
what
not
we
teach
did.
people how to break into burglar doors.
First of all, you got to get a Chicago bar to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not easy, even with the Chicago bar.
And it makes a lot of noise.
Yes,
Yeah,
it does. Which is another big a key point. You bring that up because are you looking to make that kind of racket out there when you're pulling something like that off? No way.
Every dog would be barking.
yeah.
Yep. All right, Marnie's random. Thank you very much, Marnie. That person, I think she says, I think the perp is a wolf in sheep's clothing, maybe a person with law enforcement experience.
I would agree with the wolf
You
in
never
sheep's
know.
clothing. And I've heard Dr. Bricado say that also.
Yeah.
In sheep's clothing.
You know what?
Because
And I think we'd be the first to say that, you know what, you can't just say no because it's police, and there's good and bad in everybody out there, and it wouldn't be the first time that something like that happened. And I know that we as police officers, we hate that more than anything when a copper is dirty like that. But
would
I
any
don't
cop
think
on earth carry a weapon like that, though? I mean,
no,
here.
no,
No.
no.
No,
No,
and
so-
you know, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Sometimes heinous crimes are committed by people in bad situations, not necessarily heinous people, but sometimes heinous
Mhm.
crimes are committed by people in bad situations out of desperation.
Yes.
Okay, but I would say that makes them, by definition, a heinous person.
Yeah.
You got to take it easy, Maureen. You're a little rough.
I know. I don't like heinous people.
I don't either.
Nobody's getting any
No, but
breaks
you're-
from me tonight. Yeah.
No, you're right, Will. There's sometimes people are here. For example, a bank robber walks in, implies he's got a gun or she's got a gun. And they could be just super nice people that hit rock bottom that are, I have no other choice but to do this. They're desperate. So
Yeah.
Maureen's looking at me like, uh-huh. Anyway, Lydia Peterson. So a person who previously knew TC decided to extort him. I don't think I'm
Okay.
buying into that one.
No.
No.
But we'll see.
Right. We will see. We will see.
Mhm.
Army vet. Thank you for your service, Army vet
Thank you.
420. Yeah. The Supreme Court ruled against the government, stating that acquiring a person's historical cell phone location data is legally a search under the Fourth Amendment.
That's
Good.
true. Well, that's true. It is a search under the Fourth Amendment. That's why you write a warrant.
Yeah, you have to have a search
Yes.
warrant signed off by a judge or magistrate.
Absolutely.
Nadine Stashan, top cat. I meant TC. TC is not reporting correct info since it would have had to take more than minutes. We're talking about the 2 minutes. Is TC trying to deceive law enforcement? If so, why? We'll see.
We'll see, but it is true. I'm not saying it's true in this case, but it is true that sometimes offenders try to misdirect police, like, oh, nothing, look over here, you know.
Mhm. Yep.
So
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's what you're asking, and yes, that happens in investigations, but we just have no idea that whether or not it happened here.
Yeah. Stephen, no timeline is a timeline without including a neighbor's dogs going off in the wee hours of that morning. No way that wasn't a panic and immediate unplanned exfil for the porch guy crew.
Our dog's out at 2 a.m.
No, this dog was in the neighbor's house and started barking, and it was uncharacteristic of that dog. And the dog was in looking out the window or the slider right toward Nancy's house at around the time that porch guy was on the front porch.
Okay.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah, thanks for clearing that. Joan West, why would he need to hide where number is coming from if he did not want to be known?
People hide their IP address all the time, and he probably thought he was going to get some quick money.
Yeah.
Derek, yeah, yep. Colella, whatever.
Inmate.
Little Blue Con. Whatever happened to the situation where the safe had to be broken into and some guy with a bright blue shirt holding an envelope came out and yelled out, "I got it."
I have no idea, earthly
I don't know
idea
what
what that means.
Moving
Neither.
right along, the Hill Millers. Are we thinking Tommaso now?
Depends on who we is.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see who it is. I think
will.
Yeah, we're gonna find out.
There isn't anything factual out there to support
Yeah.
them being involved, but everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Well, again, I just want to touch on something real quick. Is that person said, "Are we thinking that it's T?" Is A, I don't think anybody's been ruled out, and B, he may not be the one on the front porch, but he also could be the one coordinating this thing. He could be the one that
The chef.
set this thing in motion. Or maybe there was conversation at a garage party or something, and somebody said, "Hey, I'm going to take advantage of this." So I mean, it doesn't necessarily mean that person's the one, but I mean, it eventually comes out.
It's important for us to say that we are not alleging that T is involved or any of the family whatsoever.
Or anybody at all.
Right. This is just based on our experience as investigators, and detectives, and agents. I mean, we've seen enough of these, so we know how to look at these cases.
Yeah, our goal here is to try to generate some thought, and try to let our viewers know what some of these things mean. Because if you're not in law enforcement on these things, there's some things that can be really confusing, and it's our goal to try to help our viewers through this and run down all these scenarios, all these various scenarios that could be behind the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie.
Yeah, but for us to say we know who it is ridiculous because we haven't seen one single solitary police report. We haven't been briefed. Yeah, we haven't been briefed by law enforcement on exactly what's happening. So that would be that wouldn't be cool.
Right.
So we may have a feeling here and there, but that's not worth discussing at this point.
Right.
Well, we certainly can't state anything as fact. Correct. Other than Nancy's gone.
Right. Inner strength. Does the report say if A&T reported a call or text to law enforcement, or if law enforcement questioned them after they took their phones? That's a real good question, Inner strength.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, did they come forward with that information and say, "Hey, this guy reached out to us," or was it discovered once they went through their phones? That's a great point.
It is. It's a very good question.
It's a damning question.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Joy Lagigi, will the FBI pull cell phones records from Derek's texts and calls? Oh, heck yeah.
Done.
They already did that. That's done. Yeah, done and dusted.
Yeah. Paulie, is this online somewhere else? I want to read it. I think talking about the criminal complaint.
Yeah, I think you can search it somewhere. It's out there. I mean, if we got it,
Why don't we
we
put it,
should be able
why
to
don't
get
we
it.
put it in the comments? Let people go to the comments to look. Jackie maybe can put that in the comments.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll try it.
Yep.
Hey guys, I got like 10% of power left on still.
Yeah,
still
mine's
no
about
power
to-
now.
Yeah,
We're
let's wrap
almost-
it up.
I think we're so scroll this down. Joshua, a member, thank you. Question and theory. Maybe Savannah suspects her family and is choosing to not face a reality with her own family. We won't know until we find the perp and other players exactly. We won't know until this comes to a conclusion.
Couldn't have said it
And
better
it may-
myself.
Yep, and it may just shock everybody. Anyway, Deborah Coons, whatever happened with that card left in the door about elder abuse?
That's explained simply when the case was first looked at. It was suspected to be a walkaway, and whenever it's a walkaway, the way Pima County Sheriff and a lot of these places look, a lot of ways these places operate, it then triggers for social services to stop by
Yeah.
and see how they're doing and see if they need resources. So that card actually showed up after the fact, and it was someone responding to the fact that an elderly person, I don't think they knew where they were
The
going.
significance of the missing, right?
Right. All right, Dan, I think we got to go before people start dropping
Okay.
off. Both these guys gotta,
My surgically repaired neck is getting a little kinky.
yeah.
Yeah, gotcha. Hey, great show, guys. I mean, this turned out to be really nice, even in the beginning with all the weather and everything. Thank you, each of you. Thank you to our viewers. We're now at 10,316. Thank you so much. Family members, grandmas, keep your kids close to you. Don't let them become part of them streets out there. And if you do that now, they'll thank you later when they become successful people. Keep them out of that trouble. Stay away from all that crap going out on them streets. And that don't matter. It don't matter if you're a guardian or whatever.
Listen,
anyway.
Listen, everybody. Thank you so much for spending a good part of your evening with us. Thank you to our subscribers. Thank you to everybody that tunes in. What our goal is here is to provide a service to our viewers to help navigate some of these just tricky areas around this case. And it's not just going to be this case. It's going to be other cases as well in the future as we progress. So God bless you all and thank you.
Thank
you.
Thank you,
Good
everybody.
night, everybody.
Have a good
Everyone
night,
be
everyone.
safe.